Open up Google Earth in Washington, D.C., Rome, and Mexico City. Now, zoom into the body of water between the United States, Mexico, and Cuba. On all three maps, the name is different. What's going on here? In January 2025, President Trump signed the Restoring Names That Honor American Greatness executive order. It directed the Secretary of the Interior to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
That has forced private companies like Google to navigate on their own whether to embrace a name change that lacks international consensus or risk a backlash from the president.
This is uncharted territory. This is something new, where companies are thinking about what to call a body of water.
The usual process by which the federal government changes the names of geographical features is via an entity called the Board of Geographic Names.
This is Dave Fagundes, a law professor at Emory University. We asked him to explain how the process of changing the name of a geographic location typically works under U.S. law.
So the board is comprised of representatives from a variety of different federal agencies, and the board typically takes suggestions from government entities, state governments, or even private citizens who suggest that a given geographical feature be renamed.
The process can take months or even years, and it takes a majority vote from the board to approve a name. Congress can also pass a law to name geographic features, but Trump chose a different route for the Gulf of America.
This executive order was different. This wasn't phrased as a suggestion. Rather, President Trump directed the Secretary of the Interior to change the name of what was once the Gulf of Mexico.
Trump isn't the first president to institute a name change via executive order.
Back in 2015, President Obama issued an executive order requiring that the Secretary of the Interior and the board change the name of what was then called Mount McKinley to Denali.
But the debate over the name of that mountain had been simmering for decades.
Denali is meaningless to people other than those in Alaska.
The Gulf of America name has a much shorter history.
President Trump was looking to take his America First agenda in a new direction, and that was with what created this Gulf of America terminology.
There is a distinction, though, between government entities and the private sector over who has to use the name.
There is no legal obligation for any company or anyone in the private sector to use this name. All it does is it tells federal agencies to rewrite their maps or, their paperwork and use this term.
While there is no law forcing companies to use the new name, some are choosing to do it anyway.
About 20 S&P 500 companies have been referring to the Gulf of Mexico for the past 5 years or so, and I was looking at more in the past year how that language might have changed. About half have embraced the Gulf of America or moved away from the Gulf of Mexico.
Why are they doing it? It could be a matter of what makes the most business sense.
Probably the biggest one there was Chevron, an oil company that has a lot of operations in the Gulf. If you're trying to do more oil drilling in the Gulf, you want to get those permits approved, and the Trump administration sees you're talking about the Gulf of America, maybe that might help, grease the wheels there.
Gulf of America, Gulf of America, Gulf of America project.
And then there's the Associated Press. The wire service chose to use the original Gulf of Mexico name in its reporting, while also acknowledging the new name.
It is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America, and I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is.
CEOs have to deal with a lot. Tariffs and trade wars, regulatory changes, scrutiny over DEI initiatives, and now, map changes.